Yes, that
but
is
some
right.
also choose to do. To go ahead, even though they are AS.
Yeah, that is why we said it's by their choice. With adequate information to the couples, that these are the possibilities. Okay, you make your choice. And that is why we are campaigning that right from the tender age, they should know their genotype and start teaching these children about sickle cell disorder. Even if you are AS is not sickle cell disorder, it's just a carrier. You will start teaching them.
What does it mean to be a carrier? Because it's not infectious. So
No. We coined that term because I said sickle cell disorder means that there is no A hemoglobin. But this time around, we have A hemoglobin and one sickle hemoglobin. So they will not fall sick like the other ones. But if you should get a partner with the same genotype or with any other combination that have a sickle hemoglobin, they can bring a child to this world that have SS. So in other words, they are carrying the S gene about, but it's not affecting them because the A hemoglobin is still enough for them to carry out the body functions.
Okay.
All right. So, but each time they get married,
and it's not contractable by handshake.
No.
Just in case you say, oh, you are AS, please don't
stay away.
No. It's actually by inheritance.
Okay.
It's not by contact. Now, you asked me about diagnosis.
Yes.
All right. So, during that era he was referring to, at least in Nigeria, we have one single way of testing. And most of the time, the child will have passed the age of 6 months before we can actually do a test. But nobody does a routine test until the child starts coming out with features that are really, really suggestive of sickle cell disease. That may be too late, but with increasing awareness, babies are being tested even at a later stage. But right now, with advancement in technology, you can actually test the genotype even right from the womb.
Do we have it in Nigeria?
Yes, we have it in Nigeria. You can actually test the genotype right inside the womb or immediately after the baby was born, or any other time. So to diagnose sickle cell disorder, you need to go for a blood test for them to determine your genotype. All right? And
while we're still talking about diagnosis, let me give you my example. Like 25 years ago, I had this genotype test, and the result was AA. I was taking it all around. Then I wanted to donate blood for a friend, and they did the genotype again, and it says AS. And I was wondering,
does it change?
What I know is this doesn't change. So what happened? I went to another lab, and it confirmed it was AS. And I was wondering, so how come? So what do you think happened along the line?
Well, a lot of things.
Because some people have actually come up to say, oh, I got tested and I was AA and my husband is AA, so what happened? We have an SS child.
We have that a lot. We have that a lot. And the problem is even more than what you have just said. You mentioned something in passing now. It has caused family disharmony because the father will outrightly reject the child and say, this is not my child. I am AA. How come this child has SS? So in the laboratories, there may be errors. There are a lot of errors that can happen as long as you are dealing with human beings, and human beings are collecting samples. All right. Sometimes, like I said, yes, like I said, with advancement in technology, there are times, I told you earlier on that there are different variants of hemoglobin. Now, when you have been trained to know the S band, the C band, and then you are doing hemoglobin and you are seeing a different variant, you are not sure whether it is S or C. Rather than send the sample to another laboratory with a more sophisticated machine, you just report what you have. And then there are some variants that are very close to the S band. You now take them to be S. Or some that are very close to the A band, they are not really A. You now take them to be A. So those mistakes occur
So would you advise that there should be some kind of follow-up? If you have it done here, go have it done in some other places?
What I would say is do it in a reputable lab where you have competent pathologists, laboratory scientists, and not that alone, where the machine is still working. I say still working because...
So how is the patient supposed to know, or the person coming to know all of this? So maybe getting a second opinion will be better.
We will advise that if you do your genotype, because of this, well, let me just say that the problem is getting reduced with advancement in technology, as I said, but it is still abound. We still see some people coming to say that we did it here, it was AA, we did it the other side, it was AS. So what we just ask them to do is do it elsewhere, not the same center. Do it elsewhere, let's see what it is. And if you want double proof, do it again another place.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if I'm sending you for a genotype test, and I'm not going to use my hospital, I rely on my hospital test, that does not mean there can't be any human error, because human beings work there. If I send you there and you come out to be what is different from what you have gotten before, then I'll send you to
a third one.
A third one.
Okay. Is there any cure for sickle cell?
No.
Well, I would say yes and no. Yes, in the sense that the cure lies in bone marrow transplant. The bone marrow is the soft part inside the hollow bones, like the long bones. That's the marrow. That is where all our blood cells are produced. So if you get a transplant from a donor whose genotype is AA and is compatible with the person that is going to receive it, you can do that, and then over time you start producing AA blood, and then over time it takes over the whole thing. But it's not as simple as I've said it.
Okay.
Because
has there been any success story in Nigeria? A bone marrow transplant?
I've not heard of one. There may be.
Okay.
I've not heard of one. There may be.
Okay. Now, it is mainly black people who have sickle cell, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, what is it in our composition that disposes us to that kind of anemia?
Well, with intermarriages and travels and everything, it's no longer black people. But in the past, it was thought to be related to malaria endemicity. Okay? Probably malaria does something to our blood and all that. But right now, it has nothing to do with malaria. It's now global. It's a global thing.
White folks have sickle cell?
They can have it. If a white folk with AA and marries a black folk with AS, they get AS baby, and then the thing continues like that.
Till it gets to SS.
Till they get to SS. So there are a lot of SS population in Great Britain. More of them are blacks though, but there are other colors. Like there are other
Asians.
Yes, there are other hemoglobin disorders that you see elsewhere in the world. Like the beta thalassemia I'm talking about is not very common here. It used to be the disease of the Mediterraneans. But because of travels and the likes, we are getting it. Yes, we are getting it here.
Now let's talk more about the management, because I saw a lady at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. She brought, I think the girl was about 5 years. And she told me she was going to abandon that child. And I was begging her. I said it's too much for her, that she has to bring her almost all of the time, and the husband has abandoned her. So let's talk about the management and the hope that, yes, this child may have this now, but with proper management, the child can do well.
Yes. The management actually starts from the home. There is a home care, and then there is a hospital care. The home care, first and foremost, you need to accept that, okay, this is sickle cell disorder, and then with proper care, there is hope. And the representation of the hope we have today is Mr. Akisoji. There are others like that. We have professors, older people. So it was in the past that they died before the age of 5. Now they are living even beyond 60 in their fullest capacity. Okay, so home care, we are talking about good food, making sure that the child is free of illness. Nobody can be free of illness, but the moment you notice anything, you come to the hospital.